Hey guys, welcome to the final set between Bogus and Kwanro, and listening to the live chat, Marmoset. Marmoset is a good thing, a good meth-laden small creature that could describe Kwanro and his fury, banging his head against walls and things. Anyway, bottom right-hand corner we have Bogus. At the 3 o'clock position we have Kwanro, approximately 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock position as the teal zerg. This map, I believe, is Ultimatum. Let me try to check out. No, of course not. It's going to be... Yeah, no, right. Ultimatum. Whew. I'm going to go ahead and check map statistics pretty quickly. I think this is one of those maps that has favored zerg as well. It looks like it's just about statistically even, though, thus far, between Terran and zerg players. Going to show it to the live stream crowd. I think this is one of those maps where I saw a really clever strategy involving essentially a drop and then covering that drop with mutalisks. Let's see if Kwanro employs that as well to get a big economic lead. Essentially, you open with mutalisks, you kind of go that 9 mutalisk spread once again. You go drop, also you use the mutalisks to cover your drop at the 9 o'clock base in this instance, and then you essentially can take your 9 o'clock, your mineral only, well, usually you don't need your mineral only zerg, well, you want to take it later at the very least. And you can kind of cover from there, and really dropships are the key for Terran, getting some sort of dropship attack in and sneaking it in. So I don't know if Bogus is going to be able to execute that. I also don't know if Kwanro is going to go with the mutalisk drop as opposed to something else. I think it's kind of... I kind of want to see... I almost feel like having those island expansions on this map is almost trying to encourage, the map makers really want to encourage some more hydralisk drop play. But thus far, haven't seen it. And I know it's very risky against Medic Marine early, but I think, I don't know, with early weapons 1, overwhelming force, it can be done. And you can take your third really fast. The problem with doing that, though, is, of course, is with that dropship to follow, you can't really protect it. You need the Spire anyway, so whatever. Anyway, but yeah, Kwanro last match, playing pretty well. Looked a little bit different. I think that strategy worked, but keep in mind that was a really Zerg-favored map. I also feel like this map is somewhat Zerg-favored, but I don't think it's as Zerg-favored as Fighting Spirit is. I just think that's such a difficult map for Terran that Bogus, unless he was playing just with... I know Bogus is an okay player, but I don't think he's a great player. And I don't think he's one of those guys that really would be able to kind of work out with just be able to roll over a Zerg of Kwanro's caliber, I guess. And I know a lot of people are saying, I wouldn't call Kwanro a super high-level Zerg, but I'm saying he's been in the MSL Round of 8 a couple times, and it looks like we're seeing another 3-hatch before spawning pool, so he's again going to play it very heavy economically. Let's see if he decides to... I think the other option for Kwanro is playing the distance game, where you go mutalisks, again you go with the 9, but instead of going for the drop, you take an expansion to the top left and plant lurkers then to kind of follow from right there. And we're seeing the scouting pattern. Looks like we're going to see that scout. Oh, this is a bit unfortunate now, because Kwanro is actually going to be able to sneak, I think, a lot more drones as a result out of this, because that SCV is going the far direction. It's going to be a long time before it comes around and sees the 3-hatch. Kwanro is really going to be able to produce a lot of troops before he even needs to produce any sort of Zerglings. He also has the Overlord going the right direction versus Bogus, so he's going to be able to see that one barracks into expansion. The one hatchery into expansion build. It's very powerful for Terran. But it looks like Bogus is actually going to play it a little bit more economically savvy as well. He hasn't produced a single Marine before that expansion. I think he just assumed Kwanro was going to pull something somewhat similar. And let's see if Kwanro actually goes with the exact same build. And it looks like he's going to try to play very heavy against the mutalisks. He's going very, very early engineering bay before even his second barracks here. So I think he wants to try to get that quick weapons 1 to minimize, to purely minimize those mutalisks. And let's see if Kwanro does in fact go for that mutalisk. I think he will. Goes for a mutalisk to kind of follow. Needs to be very careful. Needs to keep that SCV scout alive as long as possible. Otherwise Kwanro is going to have a lot of options opened up to him. And it looks like he's already taken a little bit of damage. And he's getting that SCV scout a little bit boxed out here. But upgrading to lair, taking a couple additional hits, and yeah, seeing that weapons 1 and an academy to get ouch, SCV taken out. That's actually pretty big here, because I really feel like it's dangerous. Granted, there's a lot of distance on this map, but it's very dangerous going for this academy first, etc. build when you haven't got a scout inside your opponent's base. And I think Bogus knows that. He's like, oh crap, because you might get 3-hatch linged, you might just you might see a tech switch to lurker, you might see a bunch of troops coming at you early, and when you do this, you're sacrificing early Marines to try to push your tech a little bit faster. So I don't know. I think Bogus is now got to be a little bit more nervous. I think Kwanro's still going to play it heads up, but I guess it'll depend whether we see zerglings hatch right here, a bunch of zerglings hatch right here instead of drones. But anyway, getting ComSat up as well. I think he wants to keep an eye on getting 2 ComSat stations up. Wants to just make sure that he's going to see those Mutalisks coming out rather than something else. Unusual idle drone on the front door for Kwanro. What has he got to concentrate? He's already killed the scout. Come on, get the drone on the line. Very quickly planting the 2 barracks and a factory actually to follow. So maybe wanting to switch immediately to science vessels, but and he's got 2 medics for 1 marine. Medics currently outnumber the marines. He's going to need to get down, maybe thinking about following it up with Goliath even. He's going to need to hurry up 3 medics to 1 marine. Huh. He needs to get the marines out, I would think, a little bit sooner than the medics here at this stage. But and he needs to also get those turrets down a little bit sooner than before. Kwanro not doing very well in his scouting. It looks like he was a little bit concerned about a bunker bust and planting those, I would say, way earlier than he really needed to. Especially considering I think that Overlord should be able to see the fact that there's just not much of a troop count there on that front door to really be threatening. And I don't know. I guess, granted, he doesn't know that there's not marines hiding from behind the main, but still. Spire going to be finished in just a minute, and we should see the full complement of 9. It looks like he is building larvae right now to send them out, and there we see them hatching. And yeah, now it's up to Bogus to try to... I don't know that he's in position to really take the Mutalisks out, which is really what he needed to do, building a bunker to the north to try to defend that north wall. Interesting. Going to need some turrets from behind. He's going to try to very quickly get follow this up with a science vessel. And if he can get that science vessel, 2 bunkers, wow. If he can get that science vessel in position, get a good radiate, that's really going to hurt Kwanro very, very quickly. And I almost feel that might have been more worthwhile than even getting the range to start and that weapons 1 to start. Kwanro starting to move out, actually putting down a 3rd sunken colony. I think he's well, it looks like he's also got that evolution chamber to the corner. I think he's going to stick to the ground. I don't think he's going to go drop to follow this. Otherwise, we'd see an Overlord kind of along that edge and a drone in position to kind of drop here at the 9 o'clock. Kwanro going to barrel in towards the main, which only has that single turret to help cover. Does have a good amount of medic marines that should have level 1 weapons, and Kwanro actually going to skip it altogether, and he's going to go straight to, going straight to Hive. And just build all of his gas off this, and instead of trying to play the economic game, get to lurk or whatnot, he's just gonna, probably just go straight to Ultra Swarm. And this could pay off, because Bogus playing very defensively. He does have a siege tank, but keep in mind, a couple bunkers on that natural secondary, full of marines here, unloading them, stimming them before him pulling out, and he didn't get him. Oh, ouch! Didn't get an SCV there in time. Does manage to take out 1 Mutalisk, but really not worth it. Kwanro, he did manage to sneak out another. I think that's the island. Is it just at the 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock? I'll check that in a second. But still, Kwanro somehow managing to force his way through, wreaking some havoc here, able to take out that siege tank. Absolutely huge right there. And oh man, both siege. Oh man. And this is standard super aggressive Kwanro style, just destroying absolutely everything, playing this beautifully. The 12 o'clock expansion is in fact island expansion. Kwanro showing some beautiful Mutalisk micro. If he can swing back around, he might even be able to take out that science vessel. But Bogus finally has a turret there, but still losing SCVs. And Kwanro is just going to win this straight on Mutalisk micro alone, it looks like. He's already got that hive rolling. He's already going to have that 12 o'clock gas. And I don't think Bogus is in any sort of situation to really deal with this. This is all Kwanro needs to do is, shell up, play defensively. Bogus has to come to him with all that economic damage he suffered. And honestly, it's just going to be a minute or two before, maybe even 3 minutes. So, whole 3 minutes before Kwanro can just swing out with a huge, really highly upgraded army. And as long as he has those Mutalisks marauding, really, that's also going to keep a lot of those troops back, keep him in that kind of defensive slot. Another 3 turrets getting taken out. Those Marines pulling back once again. 2 Mutalisks get taken out at the very least. So pretty good trade there for Bogus. Doesn't make a difference for Kwanro though. He's still in a good position to do it. Looks like he has taken that 3 o'clock as well now. He's got a ton of gas. Not even morphing the rest of those sunken colonies. Doesn't really need to. I don't think Bogus is actually going to move out. I think he's just going to chill here. Once again, taking out the tanks. And he's putting on a clinic right here. And that tank actually blocking out the Marines. Finally able to take out another Mutalisk. But Kwanro is really microing this absolutely beautifully. And I got to say, right now, as a Zerg player, he's just outclassing Bogus. That's just flat out what it comes down to. His micro is just a little bit too solid. Just the positioning right there, working out 3 starports. Wow. Greater Spire being, wow. Okay, Greater Spire for Kwanro. So let's see if we're going to see another switch to Wraith. This is actually how Kwanro lost game 1, is Bogus sensed